Okay, now, so a glimpse of yesterday's class. Basic principles governing audit. We studied integrity, independence, confidentiality, objectivity, skill and competence, planning, documentation, evidence, using the work performed by others, okay, understanding the accounting system and internal control, audit reporting, conclusion. Then we studied types of assurance, then we studied types of risk, then we studied inherent limitations of audit. Right? So these are the basic concepts from SA 200. SA 200 is also called as mother standard. Mother, because all others standard has a base from SA 200 only. That's why it's called as mother standard. Now we will go to SA 210. Agreeing the terms of audit engagement. Right. Agreeing the terms of audit engagement. Now, the first question is how an auditor is getting appointed. The auditor is getting appointed by passing ordinary resolution in general meeting. Correct? By shareholders, the auditors are getting appointed. So, ordinary resolution in general meeting, they will be passing. After passing ordinary resolution, the company will be filing Form ADT 1 with ROC. Okay. So, first Form ADT 1. Now, after appointing the auditor will continue in the office for a period of how many days? How many years? Okay, the auditor will be there for a period of 5 years. Now, if auditor gives engagement letter in the first year, whether the same engagement letter he is using for, can you use for next 5 years? No, he cannot use for next 5 years. Auditor has to give engagement letter every year. Okay, I will tell you for what reason. There may be change in pronouncements of ICI. That means guidance note, statements, standards, there may be some change. For example, SCA 720 gone for a change. Audit report format itself from last year it has gone for a change. ACA 299 gone for a change. So, if 2 years back have you gave on this one engagement letter, that may not be suitable today. The entire report format changed. New paragraphs added. Now, that means the engagement letter which you have given before year or last year won't work this year. 2 years back, Companies Act got so much of amendments. So, I have to think about Companies Act. Okay, I have to think about standards on auditing. So, there are various things applicable for us. Can you able to understand? So, every year it's better to go for a new engagement letter. I will give you one more reason. Will you charge the same fees which you charged before year? At least 5% you will increase. Every 2 years 10% they will increase, no? Depend upon the number of queries you raised, you may increase the fees also, possibility is there. You give more fees, then clean audit report. So, joke. So, there is high possibility that something or other will be changed every year. So, it is better to give a new engagement letter every year. Even for the recurring auditor, it's better to give a new engagement letter. So, when the question comes whether the engagement letter has to be issued every year, what is your answer? It is better to issue engagement letter every year because there may be some change in Companies Act, ICI pronouncements. Okay, sometimes the management got changed. I have given my engagement letter to X, Y, Z, X, Y and Z, 3 people. I have given my engagement because that time they are the directors. And I told these are your responsibilities, etc. Now the management got changed. The new management may say that you never communicated anything to me. You have communicated to X, Y, Z person, they already retired. Possibility is there, no. That's why I am saying it's better to give engagement letter every year before starting your audit. Understood? Sir, previously there was something called ratification. Every year they used to ratify us. They appoint us for a period of 5 years, but every year they used to ratify. But after 2017 Amendment Act, that ratification is also not necessary. So now, because previously after appointment within 1 week they will be issuing engagement letter. Now we don't know within what time we should issue the engagement letter. So what is the time limit within which I have to issue the engagement letter? Before commencing the audit, well in advance you issue engagement letter. Can you able to understand? Generally, after the AGM of the previous year, you issue engagement letter, because that time only the new management might have come. Every time after the AGM, there is a possibility of new management. So, issue engagement letter in the month of October, November for the year ending March of next year. For example, if we are in October this year and the March afterwards only we will be starting the audit. So, it is better we have to give engagement letter in the month of October and November for the year ending March of the next year. It will be the right time for giving engagement letter. Okay. Sir, in February month only they introduced a new CARO called CARO 2020. Imagine, I am just telling you. In February 2020 only they issued CARO 2020. And they are saying for the year ended March 2020 itself it's applicable. Imagine. Then you have to issue a revised engagement letter immediately after that. So you can revise the engagement letter, no issue. There is no problem in revising the engagement letter, because we have to abide by the law. It's not that like examination only 6 months before they should intimate everything. That's not like that. Because for your November 20 examination, the institute should tell everything by month of May. Then only 6 months time limit is there for amendments. But it's not there in practical. You know, in April month they will issue CARO. April or May month they will issue CARO, and they will tell it is applicable from March itself. Possibility is there. And you have to give CARO. Okay, if you have already issued audit report in April month, you have to give a new CARO report alone separately. I'm just an example, joke solran. Ana, it happened one time. Reliance, they completed the audit without CARO report when CARO 2016 was introduced. Then they issued CARO separately. Possibility is there, because sometime neck moment only they will issue this. Sometime they will postpone it. Before that, some auditor would have completed the audit. They will postpone the implementation of some new standard. So you have to revise the engagement letter accordingly. Can you able to understand? This is the background of SA 210, right? SA 210 gives clarification to the entity that what is their duty. What is their duty? So we all know there is some management responsibility, there are some auditor responsibility. Most of the management are thinking financial statements preparation itself is auditor's responsibility. Correct? But it is a management responsibility. So we should be very clear and we should tell them it is your duty. Okay, sir, some people are now feeling guilty. Sir, we are doing the management's work, sir. What is this, sir? Then how can we call ourselves as auditors? It is not our duty to prepare the financial statements. No, but we are preparing the financial statements. So it's you are feeling guilty. We are doing something wrong, etc. Now, I also felt guilty when I am like you. Okay, 18 years, 17 years when I started my articles, I also felt guilty. We should not do this, but we are doing this. What to do? Our auditors are why they are helping the clients in preparing financial statements. I told my office. Then they told, no, Krishnan, we are not preparing financial statements. They are only preparing financial. Sir, I am only preparing, sir. What is this, sir? Krishna, you please understand. They already have one balance sheet, but only thing is it is not up to the mark. You are only doing some cosmetic changes. What is this, sir? What balance sheet they have, sir? They don't have balance sheet only. Krishna, what software they are using? Tally, sir. Go to Tally, press B. Balance sheet is there. Now, so the argument is the balance sheet is already there, the P&L is already there. Only thing is, it is not in the Schedule 3 format. Then Tally introduced the Schedule 3 format also in it. Then my auditors are very happy. Krishna, see, Schedule 3 itself is there in the Tally. Sir, no sir. Only thing is the cosmetic changes you are doing. Sometimes the creditor will have a debit balance, debtor will have a credit balance. Okay. So that changes alone you are doing. And some additional disclosure, they are not having that knowledge of accounting standards. So you are having accounting standards. Once you tell them, next time onwards they will follow. Okay sir, I understood. So the guilty feeling is now reduced. Okay, that's what, see, that's how you have to feel happy. How to get motivation? This is how you can get motivation. Okay, so we are not doing balance sheet, they are only doing balance sheet because software is already there. So the clarification that you are only responsible is given by this engagement letter. Whether engagement letter has to be issued every year? Right, next question. Whether engagement letter has to be issued every year? Yes. Reason? There may be changes in Companies Act, ICAI pronouncements. Change in management. Okay. Change in fees. Additional regulation may be implemented. Additional regulations may be implemented. For example, new act may come, okay, which may be applicable for your company. That new act will be applicable for your company. Next, after engagement letter accepted by the clients, then only you should start your audit. So first you should give engagement letter. After the acceptance of the engagement letter only, acknowledgement they should do. Okay, they should acknowledge, then only you can start your audit. Can you able to understand? Next, format of engagement letter. See, today everyone go to your office and at least read one engagement letter which you have given. If you have not given already, you prepare one engagement letter this year and put a backdated and give to the client and get his acknowledgement and backdated. Okay, so as if you have given this engagement letter last October itself, like that you prepare the engagement letter and get it signed so that in your working paper you can have this engagement letter which may be useful in peer review next year, maybe in future. So your junior will not scold you because whenever the peer review happens, okay, the senior who has prepared the working paper already went for leave. Okay, our articleship itself is over. When we are opening the working paper file, nothing will be there. Working paper file only will be there. Okay, no workings will be there. So we will be scolding our seniors. No juniors of us should scold us. Okay, so at least we should be perfect in our working paper file. So what will be having? You have requested us to do audit of the financial statement. First, our introduction. So introductory paragraph, you have requested us to do audit of financial statements of your company. Kindly confirm our understanding of this audit engagement That means we are going to give our understanding by way of engagement letter. You have to say yes, okay. Kindly confirm our audit engagement. So our understanding on the engagement. That means what is my duty and what is your duty, how I understood. That I will tell you. You please confirm it. Our audit will be conducted with an objective to give opinion. With objective to give opinion on financial statements. So this is introductory paragraph. So I will write my understanding and give you. You please acknowledge it. Okay, next paragraph. We will conduct our audit in accordance with SCA, right? We will conduct our audit in accordance with SCA. We perform the audit to obtain reasonable assurance. We perform the audit to obtain reasonable assurance. Reasonable assurance means true and fair, okay? That means we are concentrating on dash misstatement, material misstatements, okay? Right. Whether the financial statements are free from material misstatements. We will obtain audit evidences. We will obtain audit evidences. And our audit procedures depends on our judgments. Audit procedures depends on our judgments. And risk of misstatements. We will also evaluate your accounting policy. We will also evaluate your accounting policy. And reasonableness of the estimate selected. And reasonableness of the estimate selected. Can you able to understand? Because their estimate may be unreasonable estimates, right? Sometimes if they want to reduce the profits, they will put more depreciation. If they want to increase the profit, they will put less depreciation. They will not provide for some expenses. They will not provide for warranty claims. So these are all estimate based, right? So we will be evaluating their reasonableness of the estimates. Okay. There are some inherent limitations of audit. Some material misstatements may not be deducted. Some material misstatements may not be deducted. We will consider internal control while doing risk assessment. We will consider internal control for making risk assessment. But not for the purpose of giving opinion. But not for the purpose of giving opinion. That means we will not do audit of internal control. That is duty of internal auditor. But we will consider internal control for the purpose of risk assessment, because and the material risk may affect my audit opinion. So I will not give a separate opinion on internal control. But for those companies where internal financial control system is applicable, I have to give opinion on the internal control over financial reporting also. Can you able to understand? So in case if the company has IFC applicability, you have to accordingly introduce that paragraph also in your engagement letter. Bracket you write. In case if the company has IFC applicability, what is IFC? Internal financial control over financial reporting. Okay, IFC over FR. You have to appropriately introduce the paragraph. See, at least 2 company audit you should do to understand all this what I am saying. As if you are doing company audit, you imagine and read the audit report. See, you may be a junior also. You may not be given the opportunity of drafting the audit report. Sometime even the opportunity comes, you will be copy pasting only. That is different issue. However, so we will not give any opinion on internal control. However, we will communicate any significant deficiency in internal control. We will communicate any significant deficiency in internal control. Next, management responsibility is to prepare financial statements. Management responsibility is to prepare the financial statements. Comply with accounting policy and consistently apply. Comply with accounting policy and consistently apply. There should not be any material departure from the accounting standards. There should not be any material departure from the accounting standards. To select reasonable estimates. To give us information explanation for the purpose of audit. To give us information explanation for the purpose of audit. To give us written confirmation. To give us written confirmation. To give us written confirmation. When we request. See, there may be some areas where there is no external evidence available, no. Where management written confirmation will be the only evidence, no, for those things. Our audit is subject to peer review. Our audit is subject to peer review. Hence, there is a compromise on confidentiality. Correct? See, client order records we are having, some part of records we are having in our working paper file. And some other auditor is coming and seeing the working paper file. Correct? So, we should not disclose any of the client information which we have to some other person, right? But when the peer review is happening, obviously we are disclosing to some other person. See, that person is also having confidentiality. He will not disclose to outsider. That is different issue. But we are compromising a little confidentiality. Okay. So, our audit is subject to peer review, which is mandatory as per ICAI Act. If you are doing some other audit other than statutory audit of Company Act, as per, you may, for example, GST audit you may do income tax audit. So, you can add those points also. if we are doing audit under another act, but that is not affecting your independence. Please make sure that. Okay, audit under 44AB or audit under section 35 of the Income Tax Act will not affect your independence. Okay, so you should make sure that if there is no affecting independence, I can do certain things. So additional paragraphs can be income tax audit, GST audit. And request for full cooperation. So what is the last line? We request your full cooperation from management and staffs. We request full cooperation from management and staff. Kindly sign and acknowledge. And somewhere you add the fees paragraph also. After the GST audit and income tax audit, you add the fees paragraph also. Because based on your total assignments, you have to fix the fees. So this is the form and content of 210. There may be a straight question. There may be drafting of engagement letter also possible. Straight question means whether engagement letter has to be given every year, kind of question. That is straight question. Okay. Next. SCA 220. SCA 220. Quality control for an audit of financial statements. See, there are two types of quality control. One is quality control for the firm. Another one is quality control for audit of financial statements. So there are two types of quality control. One is for the firm, another one is for the financial statements. 90% both are same. For example, how Venkat would have been appointed in Brahmaya. Okay. So he is article assistant of Brahmaya firm. Once he applied for articleship, first somebody would have told him that there is a vacancy in that office. Then he would have approached the office with his resume. And there should be some interview procedures. They will do some oral interview. They may give some written examination, after which he may be selected. He will be put in front of one audit manager or a partner. They will do some interview with him, psychological interview they have, and once he says okay with everything, outstation exam, you will not be given any leaves for writing any other examination other than CA examination, because they may do some other examinations also, no, CS, CWA they may do. Generally no office will be ready to give leave for that. CA examination they will give 3 months, other examination maybe only for the exam days. Okay, but there are some offices which is giving for BCom also leave, 3 days leave for every examination of BCom. There are very good offices like that, but we are not going to those offices. Okay, so one person is writing November 20 examination, he is attending morning to evening full days class which is there for November 19. That morning to evening full day class thing will be there. No, he is attending those classes. How irritating it will be for us. Only morning class we have to ask permission. Sir, 9:30 I can reach, but not before 9:30. Because they may put you in Sri Perumbudur audit, where your client asks you to come at 10 o'clock sharp, which is not possible at this point of time. You will, even if you start at 9 o'clock from here, you will reach only 10:30 in Sri Perumbudur. Sir, auditor will say, why morning class you are going, then which class I should go? Okay. Sir, evening class only you are not allowing. At least morning class, before everyone wake up, I am completing this class. That also, if you say, they will not allow. See, you should not tell auditor that you are going for classes. You can tell your friends, and that too, not seniors, your own friends. If you tell seniors, gone case. Then they will put you in outstation audit. But in your own level of friends, you can tell. If everyone going for class, no issue. But when you are not going for class, then there will be big issue. Okay, jealous people. There are so many people like that. Now, so first interview will be there. After interview, they will be giving some shock in orientation program. Okay, you have to do this, you have to do like that. As you already studied in your inter, okay, you tell me whether I have studied in inter, I will tell you later. So they will give you some orientation of how to do an audit. And this is called engagement performance. How to perform an engagement. They will give us orientation. But many of us are not getting that orientation. That is also a different issue. They will first tell us only the bus route, how to go to the client office. Okay. What to do in client office, no one tells us. Okay, go there, they themselves will tell you what to do. Now, so engagement, how to perform an engagement. After that, there should be one senior who is going to guide us properly. And there should be a regular monitoring. See, this and all how a firm should be. How your firm is, that I am not saying. How a firm should be, how a audit should be conducted. So there should be a monitoring mechanism, and whenever we raise some queries, because we are representing our office, when the discussion with the client comes, and when senior person is coming, one auditor or reviewing person is coming, you should act like a leader. He should not get the instruction from the client. Some people will be like, no, when client comes, the client will become like a tiger and a lion, our people will be like a cat. Okay, see, you should be like a leader. Okay, you should lead by example. So, according to you, it is wrong. No, it is wrong. They have to rectify the mistake. They have to rectify the mistake. Okay, why we are compromising in our quality? Because maybe today we can escape, but tomorrow in assessment we will be getting caught. And the point of time, our burden will be more. So, now itself we should make sure everything is perfect. So, that leadership quality should be there. You should have enough evidences in supporting whatever you are saying. And there should be some ethics. Okay, that is integrity, honesty, professional skepticism. This and all you should have. This is quality control. So, quality control means selection of human resource, quality control should be there. Screening process, quality control should be. Then, no article assistant should be left just like that. You should be given instruction of how to perform an engagement. Okay, then if there is more risk in the audit, first of all you should understand whether to accept the client or not. If there is more risk, don't accept the client itself, because tomorrow your goodwill will be spoiled because of the client when there is more risk. Can you able to understand? See, when you are doing an audit of mining company, the risk is more in mining company because they may do some illegal mining, Okay, so when you are doing mining company audit, you should be very careful. Sir, when I accepted the audit, sir, I never know that these things will happen. Okay, continue pannalama. Check whether you can continue, otherwise you resign from the audit. Since because they are giving some additional fees, don't continue with them, because it will be torture for you for lifelong, and it will give you some guilt feeling also. Illegal mining pandranga, we are doing audit. Sir, that is not my scope. Financial statement only I will see. Whether they are doing legal mining, illegal mining, that is, see, auditor, they will come to know all these things in due course of audit. Sir, but no media comments is there. Future also no problem, because all political parties are getting supported from the client, so there won't be any problem. Yesterday also we studied, other than financial, something else and all is not my scope. Okay, yesterday we studied about the risk, For example, Volkswagen has produced one car. The car is giving more emission. So Volkswagen has taken the car back. It happened 3 years back. But the audit report, they won't have this kind of qualification. In case if there is a financial impact of it, maybe in the next year it will be reflected in the financial statement and there will be a note to account, that's all. Can you able to understand? So these things are different. Leadership quality should be there, monitoring should be there, and ethical requirement should be there. So come on, write SQC1, which talks about quality control for the firm. Quality control for the firm. Which performs audits, reviews, quarterly review, reviews, assurance services and other related services. And SA 220 or similar. So SA 220 and SQC 1 are similar. Point number 1, selection of human resource. So come on, tell me how to select. By keeping interviews, screening process. Second point, you should also tell them the work culture. Okay, you have to work till late hours. How to come for office, full hand shirt or half hand shirt, jeans pant or normal pant, formal pant, shoe, without shoe, chappals, okay, hair cutting, beard. This also you can tell. So, yeah, so proper screening should be there. Second, engagement performance, right? Instruction on how to perform an engagement. Next, acceptance and continuance with the client. Acceptance and continuance with the client. So engagement performance means what? Instruction on how to do an audit. So a proper instruction should be given from the auditor to the person who is doing the audit, article assistant. Then acceptance and continuance. You have to do risk assessment every year. If the client is having more risk and he is not allowing you to qualify, then it is better to come out of the engagement rather to continue with them. Next. Leadership qualities. Auditor should have leadership qualities. It's called tone at the top. See how the king is like his subject. So for example, if the Prime Minister is having so much of courage, honest, straightforward, then the minister should be like that, no, at least. So they are forced to be like that. If the ministers are like that, then government officials should be like that. If government officials are like that, then normal citizens should be like that. So that's called tone at the top. So if the auditor is not reversing his wordings, sometimes he will tell, this audit perfecta we should do. You should call spade as a spade, diamond as diamond. But when it comes to finalization before the client, hey, why you are qualified this? I never asked you to qualify. Now, actually, we would have made much better audit report than what is going to get signed in future. In Caro, first point itself, whether the fixed asset register is maintained. The company has not maintained any fixed asset register. Whether physical verification has happened. No physical verification happened during the year. Whether the title deeds are in the client's name. They have never showed me any title deeds. Whether inventories are properly inspected. Whether there is any discrepancies. Full discrepancy only. Okay. Now, if we want to qualify, all 16 points we can qualify. Then the client will say, sir, last year, the same Caro, you have given clean report. Last year we had fixed register, no. This year, that means we should also have that fixed register. You only said last year, I am not saying, you only said last year. So you cannot suddenly become Harichandra's second cousin. If you are Harichandra, then from day one you should be Harichandra. Suddenly you cannot become Harichandra. Can you able to understand? So this is what it is. So once you give one wrong report, every time the client will blackmail you. I have the old report. Okay. See, if you start telling lies, every time you have to maintain for it. So first time itself, you should be strong enough. That is the reason every auditor, when new assignment comes, they will be strong. Okay. But when the old assignments, no, they will be, sorry, we leave it. This client, our own client. When it government audit, when it comes to government audit or bank audit, every auditor will use all his brilliance and he will be strict enough, not even compromise. When we do audit of government company, full qualification only, left, right and center qualification. I have seen some government company reports and all, 20 pages qualification, 1.5 pages only main audit report. Small qualification, left, right and center. Previously, qualification should be in bold letters. Previous, when we are doing audit, it should be in bold letters. And the entire audit report may bold letters. That time, bold or italics you should qualify. Now you have the separate paragraph of qualification. No, qualified opinion itself a separate paragraph. When we are doing audit, there is no separate. When I am like you, article assistant, there is no separate paragraph. Only bold or italics if it's mentioned, that means it's a qualification. Full audit report we have to bold or italics. One paragraph bold, another paragraph italics. It's like that. When we are doing government audit. But when you are doing private company audit, then it will be like so calm audit. Even though there is nothing there, then everything will be there in at least audit report. Okay, fixed asset register is there. Have anyone seen 189 register? That MBP4, anyone seen that 189 register? No one. But in your Caro third and fourth point you are writing, everything is there. Okay. Fixed asset register itself, only few companies are having. That too in Excel sheet. Okay. Physical verification, God only knows. Sir, you are having only this much of office, 1000 square feet office. I can see only 3 AC. But in your register it says 5 AC. 2 ACs in, 1 AC in MD's house, another was in WTD house. Okay. So, sir, TV எல்லாம் இருக்கே சார் இருக்கு சார் MD கிட்ட இருக்கு சார் ஓகே now so physical verification how it is furniture and fixtures okay you can understand it is all added to the group now so ethics last is ethics ethical requirements integrity confidentiality professional skepticism see the auditor should have enough staffs the auditor should do knowledge enrichment program every week or month if they are not doing all these things there is a new review proposed or already implemented it's called quality review see we know only peer review no there is something new which is going to come for us it's called quality review this has been introduced by ICAI 2 years back this is to stop NFRA in poking their nose. But NFRA is going to do. NFRA is going to restrict themselves with bigger companies auditors. So when we are doing only small private limited company audit, then NFRA will not interfere in our audit firm. But when you are doing listed company audit, then NFRA will come to the audit firm and they will be giving some penalties if you are not doing right. But for auditors who are doing a small audit firm's audit, there will be one new review which is called quality review, which is going to come. Okay, like peer review, this quality, peer review is concentrating on working paper file, no. Quality review will be concentrating on overall audit firm. Okay, how the selection process is done, like SA 220 and SQC 1 is there, no, that will be reviewed by the new auditors, and there will be a high level intervention by central government in this review. Can you able to understand? So see, at least every of our firm, one big audit they are doing, one big audit they are doing, may not be all the audits are bigger audit, but one big audit they are doing. Because of that, our firm may also come under quality review. So it's better we should use SQC 1 and SA 220 properly implement we should do. Okay, tell your auditors, sir, it seems in our class in Soladinga, I heard from someone, okay, that there is something called quality review which is getting introduced from this year. So what is the step we have taken for making ourselves ready for this quality review? Okay, ask your manager who is friendly with you. Don't ask the manager, okay, who is so gone on you. Okay, but ask the manager who is friendly with you, sir, what is this quality review, etc. See, practically they may be knowing, because it may come in future. Suddenly one day it will come. One letter will come from ICI. Your firm is selected for quality review. They all know only peer review. They will think, oh, it's peer review, the new name quality review. Okay, it is there, like whether sufficient staff is there. Most of the auditors, they may not have staff itself. Article assistant they will do bhajana padiduvanga. Okay, because staff may ask 10,000, 15,000 rupees. Article assistant enna kuthala vaangi po sir. Okay. Sir, first vacancy irka sir, because today's scenario, I will tell you, this private academies are going and popularizing CA like anything. But where are good offices? No office has vacancy today. See, when more students are coming, how many auditors are practicing? And auditors has a limit of 10 students only. Okay, so nowadays we are not having vacancies for the students. See, leave alone the auditor office. Orientation program, ITT program vacancy. Once they launch, next 2 minutes it's getting filled. Many of the students are not attending class because of that only. Okay, ITT program because the slot will not be there. Because throughout the annum you will be going for classes. Okay, either this class will be there or that class will be there. And the office also will say, only morning slot you should go, 7 to 1 maximum. Okay, class also morning only, ICI programs also morning only, first orientation, upper ITT. Okay, 15 days and 15 days has gone. So, how it is possible for us to cope up with everything? At least when I was doing articles and all, GMCS and all should be done after the examination. But now only if you do this, they are allowed to write it. Because after the examination, what you are thinking, after passing the examination, you will go for GMCS, which is never happening, and so many people are not attending GMCS itself. ICA is losing revenue. Now it's a reverse way. Seriously, I am telling you. We and all will do GMCS only after our passing. So 7,000 rupees may not be reaching ICI. But ICI will get additional examination fees every year. That is different issue. But they want everything. Examination fees also we want, GMCS fees also. See, what is there in GMCS that it should be there before writing the examination? Why the compulsion should be? Okay, that 2 ITT, 2 GMCS, I don't know. But yes, it's all there. We have to abide by the law. But that can be relaxed in future. Because our auditor office, they are not allowing us, right? When we ask permission, and when we ask permission, we will ask together or 5 students. So it's very difficult to run the office, because even though they are giving only 4,000 rupees stipend for you, the entire office is run by you only. If you are not there, then who will run the office? Some people morning key only they will only have. Okay, open the office. Next, SA 230. See what type of questions will be coming, I will tell later. First we should understand the concept of the standards. Then we will go for question and answers. SA 230 audit documentation. Documentation are called as working papers. It is a record of audit procedures applied. It is a record of audit procedures applied. It helps the auditor to form conclusion. It helps the auditor to form conclusion. It helps the auditor in supervising the work performed by the article assistants. It helps the auditor in supervising the work performed by article assistants. Previous year working paper will be helping in planning the current year audit. Previous year's working paper will be helping in planning the current year's audit. It makes the assistant accountable for the work performed. It makes the assistants accountable for the work performed. It helps when there is an external inspection. It helps the auditor when there is external inspection, like peer review, quality review, etc. Working paper should contain audit planning, nature, timing and extent of audit procedures performed, audit planning, nature, timing and extent of audit procedures performed, audit conclusion. This is a basic thing, but in depth, current, permanent and all we will see little later. How much time is given to auditors to assemble the working paper file? 60 days. Okay. See, you have to collect all the working papers before you conclude the audit. But you can assemble, okay, flaps eல்லாம் போட்டு rearrange எல்லாம் பண்ணி you can assemble the working paper file even after 60 days after conclusion of audit. Okay, so there are two things. One is collecting the working papers, another one is assembling the working papers. So right, the auditor should collect all working papers before concluding the audit. The auditor should collect all the working papers before concluding the audit. But he has 60 days time. For assembling the working papers. Understood? Next, Who is the owner of the working papers? Right. The auditor is the owner of the working paper file, and he should only retain it. Some article assistants, what they are doing, they are keeping the working papers in the client place itself. Bhadrama irukattum. See, when you are doing daily audit, okay, you can keep there, and that too in a safe custody. See, when you should not leave the working papers just like that and come out. You should have some locker where, or a drawer somewhere. You have to have the key. So even though the working papers or you are keeping in the client office till you are concluding the audit, you should only have the key. It should not be allowed for accountants or anyone to see the working paper file. Can you able to understand? Okay, so auditor only should retain it. Actually speaking, every day the working paper has to be taken out and taken back for work, but it is not possible in general scenario. But if you are keeping the working paper file in the client office before you conclude the audit, it's not like after the conclusion of the audit. Sometimes we will keep the working paper file, we will forget it, okay, and the last day of signing of the report we will be keeping, then we will go for the next audit. We will think we should go back and get the, which will never happen. Next year only we will tell our junior, last year working paper file Bhadrama client office. Even in our office it may not be that much safe, okay, because in our office when we keep working paper file in one cupboard, come back next day, it will not be there. Okay, searching working paper file itself is a big task, correct? One full day will go. Hey, when tax assessment will come, for example 2017 tax assessment is now coming, then auditor will say, and 2017 working paper pocha day, entire day gone, and dust allergy will come, and on that file room will be there, without any lighting, without any air, one file room will be there. Ulla pona toppakate nanjiruva, okay, full sweat only. And after that the ultimate result is what? Sir, I found, okay, only part 1 of the working paper file. There is one more thing called part 2, okay, I don't know where it is, sir. I searched for so much. But our fellows, they have 3 parts. We only thinking only part 2 is there. Part 3 the main. Okay, part 1 is full preliminary. One of my senior, he thinks as if more working paper files he puts only, the quality of audit is increased. We are all astonished. How it is possible to put 3 working paper file for one audit? What he will do? Vouching ni keta nechkoya. Entire voucher he will take Xerox copy and put. Fixes it full voucher, full invoice as Xerox copy achiruva. Okay. And next time when we are going, client is already ready with that. Sir, enna sir, ellari Xerox copy. Sir, amma sir, last time your senior asked it. You also take. Sir, what is the use of it, sir? Sir, your senior only told every time when auditors comes, you should be ready with this. One of my senior, whenever he goes, first he will write, I want 4 black pen, 4 blue pen, 4 pink pen, okay, 5 working notepad, 5 notepads and flaps, color flaps, okay, full client is ready with that. I was like, wow. And then he was like, no, sir, last time your senior came and he instructed us. Okay, and he told, sir, conveyance every time we will increase 50 rupees, sir. This time you are getting 200 rupees. Aha, inna senior Rani, Valga Valamudan. You know, sir, what is the quality of audit? No one knows. That is different issue. Okay, but comfort zone we should have. Now, so working paper, only who should retain? Auditor should retain. How many years you should retain the working paper file? 7 years. Working paper file has to be retained for a period of 7 years. See, client is asking one working of you. You have done one wonderful working for GST. Client is asking, sir, that GST working you did know, sir, which is wonderful. Can you share the soft copy with me? Then what you will say? Okay. See, at your own discretion, you can share some workings with client. Client doesn't have a right to, okay, claim that. But at your own discretion, maybe that format and all he may be liking. See, if you give the workings to him, maybe deleting the main numbers and you ask them to put the numbers, it's next year you put the numbers, it will be helpful for you only. See, client is not asking for something else. Next year your burden will be reduced. I always share the workings with my clients because next year burden will be reduced. அவனே பாதி fill பண்ணுவேன், 50% he will be filling. Then only the cosmetic changes you should do. Auditor, it's not necessary for him to provide, but it's his own discretion, he can give the workings to the client. Now the next question is whether the principal auditor has a right to access branch auditor's workings. Principal auditor has no right to access branch auditor's working and all. You can give one questionnaires. You can ask the branch auditor to fill the questionnaire and give it back. Can you able to understand? So you don't have a right to access the branch auditor's working and all. You can fill what? You can ask them to fill questionnaires, right? You cannot have any copy of the working paper file. You can seek clarification. You can even seek clarification. You can send a letter to him. You can ask for clarification, but you cannot ask for working papers and all. Next, types of working paper files. There are two types. One is current working paper file. Another one is permanent working paper file. Now first current working paper file. Appointment letter. If you are continually doing the audit, then you can take a photocopy of the appointment letter. Okay, appointment letter. Bracket la photocopy, because original will be in the permanent working paper file. Next, engagement letter. Another audit program. Extract from the minutes. Analytical procedures, ratio. Analytical procedures. Vouching, verification, reconciliations. Vouching, verifications and reconciliations. Ledger scrutiny notes. Query letters issued. Bracket la communication with management and those charged with governance. Query letters issued. MRL obtained. Responses and MRL. MRL means management representation letter. MRL obtained. Response means the query letter response. Sometimes we will ask some management representation letter that time. Then conclusion reached. Permanent working paper file. Conclusion reached means audit report. Okay, permanent working paper file. copy of MOA AOA, copy of MOA AOA, important legal agreements like ISHA. ISHA means Investor Shareholders Agreement. See, many FDI companies will be there where investors will be there some with agreement. So important legal agreements like ISHA, Investor Shareholders Agreement, or some joint venture agreement kind of something will be there. Financial statements audited previous year audited financial statements on audit reports, previous year's audited financial statement and audit reports. Then management representation letters, every year MRL, one copy you take and put it in this file. Then any serious observations will be there, no, that also you can file it here. But not every observation you should file it here. Maybe like major points which should be there for follow up in next year, that you can have it in the permanent working file. When you are a new incoming auditor, when there is one retiring auditor, then what you should get from him? NOC, no objection certificate, that you should take a copy. NOC from the previous auditor. See, there is something called SOPs. SOP means standard operating procedures. Big clients has this SOPs. They will give one copy of the full SOP to you, that you can keep it in permanent Google file, because it won't change. It's like a manual. See, when we are doing audit of very big company, there is something called manual of accounts, accounting manual, no, full procedures they would have documented, because even any employee comes and sit in that place, you should follow that manual. So that manual will be given to the auditors. So auditor has to do the audit. Normally you will do in as per Companies Act, but to understand how the employee make an error. See, if you want to know why the error has been made, so that means the manual, if you see, it will tell you some procedures. If they have not followed the procedures, that is also an error that you can do. So standard operating procedures and all they may have. Adoda copy. Then last one, audit notebook. Last heading, audit notebook. Audit notebook is a bounded notebook. Where the article assistant writes his observation. So it contains the queries raised. And explanation obtained for it. After completing the audit, what to do? Punch the audit notebook in the working paper file. After completing the audit, punch the working paper audit notebook in the working paper file itself. Understood? So you should not take that notebook back to home. Okay, I have seen many people, they will tear that pages and they will file it. The main notebook they will take it. Okay, don't do like that. Punch that. Take a small notebook itself, then punch that notebook in the file itself. Okay. Now we will see what kind of question and answer will be coming in exams from these standards. Okay. இப்படிதான் QB ஒன்று வச்சிருக்கியா? The first question from essay 200. Audit risk. Audit risk is a function of dash, dash and dash. Okay. Inherent risk, control risk, detection risk. So you should write little detail about the three risks and how to eliminate, proper planning, proper application of procedures, etc. Factors relevant in evaluating inherent risk. Okay. Then, sir, the inherent risk has to be assessed with professional judgment. What kind of inherent risk will be there for this audit? So we need to have proper experience. When you are doing technology oriented companies, then you should know what kind of new technology will come and obsolete this company. Risk assessment is whose duty? Management's duty. First they should analyze why my company is getting low profits this year, what risk is affecting me, opportunity, threat, correct, SWOT analysis, strength, weakness. This is to be done by that management. Describe how you would identify the inherent risk at the account balances, class of transaction in planning level. See, always the risk will be placed in the three areas. I will be explaining in the next standard when I am telling. See, I will give an introduction now. There are three areas in which you can find the risk. This is called assertion level. This is called what? Assertion level. So when the word assertion level, if asked in your exam, you should tell class of transaction, account balances and disclosure. These are the three levels. Errors may happen while entering into the transaction. When you put an entry, the entry level error may be there. That is called class of transaction. Sir, class of transaction is right, but the closing balances which is reflected in the balance sheet, it has some errors. Okay, the closing balances, for example, debtor closing balance is 12 lakh rupees, but the debtor itself now become insolvent. Okay, so the account balances is wrong. Disclosure, the fixed asset, when you are disclosing in the schedule, you are not writing a note below the fixed asset that how much of the fixed asset value has been hypothecated. Can you able to understand? So no one is doing the disclosure. In fixed asset schedule, the bottom layer they should give out of the so much of fixed asset, how much fixed asset has been hypothecated in the bank and taken a loan. So how much fixed assets are free of charge and how much fixed assets is already charged. Because when it is already charged, tomorrow this is not available with other shareholders. This disclosure and all should be there. So some people, for example, if you are not repaying the loans properly, below the secured loan, okay, there should be a disclosure that how many days delay in the repayment of the loan taken. And whenever there is a related party transaction, proper disclosure should be there as per A.S 18. So when the client is not doing enough disclosure, that is also risk. So there are three areas. The assertion, the auditor should ascertain these three areas. What are the three areas? Class of transaction, account balance and disclosures. So this question they have asked. So when you are evaluating the risk, you should keep in mind the quality of the accounting system. The quality of the, I told you, accounting system and internal control you should understand. That is very much important. See, the areas where the audit risk may happen: valuation of inventory, closing stock. Okay, so susceptible to the higher level of risk in Sulwang. There may be some unusual transaction happen during the year, extraordinary or unusual transaction happen during the year, which is not a repeatable transaction, one time unusual transaction. That may even have risk. Next question. Compute the overall audit risk. If looking to the nature of business, there are chances that 40% bill of services provided would be defalcated. Inquiring on the same matter, management has assured the internal controls can prevent such defalcation up to 75%. At this part, the auditor assesses that the procedures he could apply in remaining time to complete the audit gives him satisfaction level of deduction of fraud to the extent of only 60%. That means what? The risk of misstatement is there. See, they are giving some percentage, leave alone the percentage. Whether the risk of misstatement is material or immaterial, that is the question. If the risk of material misstatement is there, then it is going to give a problem. If the misstatement may be there but it is not material, then it is not a problem. This is what you should understand. So, the control risk, that means what? The internal controls may not identify how much percentage as per the question. So, how much percentage they told? 75% they told. So, 25% is the control risk. Understood? So, the risk of material misstatements is 40% of the 25% is equal to 10%. See, please understand. என்ன சார் இது மேத்தமெட்டிக்ஸ் மாதிரி இருக்குது அக்கௌண்ட் ஆடிட்டிங்கு. வாட் டு டூ? கொஷின் வி ஹவ் டு அண்டர்ஸ்டாண்ட் இட். See, there is 40% chance that some defalcation may happen. Internal control 75% it will be protecting it. So that means 25% will not be protected. So 40% into 25% is equal to 10%. That means defalcation may be there or receipt may not be entered of how much? 10%. Chance of material misstatement are reduced to extent of 10% by having controlled risk. Now, what is deduction risk? Auditor fails to find it. Understood? What is that? 60%. 60% it will be done properly. So, அப்போ ஒரு 40% ஒரு ப்ராப்ளம் இருக்குது. அப்போ 10%ல் 40% is how much? 4%. all தான். So, in overall we have 4% misstatement. Can you able to understand? This is how we should justify. So 4% means we can take a chance. So in question, it's a very interesting question. There is 40% chance that the employees will do mistake. The control procedures can restrict the problems to 75%. Auditors, okay, can restrict or they can find the problem 60%. So first of all, 40 into 25%, because that is a unidentifiable problem with the internal control. So internal control cannot find 25%. So that will come 10%. And auditors can find 60%. They may leave 40%. So out of that, 10 into 40% is equal to 4. So 4% problems. So kind of. Can you able to understand? This is essay 200 questions. So till now, 4 times essay 200 has been asked in final level, because essay 200 is an inter-level question, but final level question you just see. Is the same level of questions will not be in inter-level. Inter-level ku thoda easy question, basic principle kavan 11 points. That level of questions will be in inter, but final has some advanced questions. Okay, that is the reason we should study this books. See, this book is a pokisham for you, I am telling you, because practice manual is not available. Like in your IPC, there is something called practice manual. It's not available for final. And institute material is very big. If you start reading it, maybe next 2 attempts you can finish it. Okay, but you should read at least line by line in institute material. So I have taken all the effort of compiling everything and putting in one place in orderly manner. Okay, so this book is a pokisham for you. Read this book 2 to 3 times. 2 times you read before the exam, 1 time you read for the exam. That means that last 3 months is there, no? And the time you should read 1 time. But before that, everything should be read line by line. Each and every question has to be read line by line. First you should read for the purpose of the classrooms. That means within this 30 days you should complete it. Then you will be forgetting it in next 5 months. Then you will be having some off seasons in the next year somewhere. That time you should feel guilty. Class we forget everything. Okay, at least 1 time you should reopen the book and do it. So you should do it 1 more time. But the next time when you are doing it should be done fast. You should not take much more time. Then after some time exam leave will come. Again that point of time you should read. Because that time also it is new only. You will be forgetting that time also. So when you study 3 times, you will not forget. Whenever you study, take a piece of paper, write it in a short notes. Can you able to understand? Question number 1, question number 2, question number 3, short note. Heading also we can write. Okay, what kind of question? Okay, what is the time now? 8:15. Okay, we have good time now. 2:10. What kind of questions can come? Chartered accountant firm has not received the terms of engagement and obtain confirmation from the client for last 5 years despite changes in the business and professional environment. Please elucidate circumstances that may warrant revision in engagement letter. Come on, tell me, what may warrant you to revise the engagement letter? Okay, first they should not misunderstand. So whatever you are understanding should be the same understanding with the management. Second, changes in the senior management possible, ownership structure possible. Then the business entity would have changed their structure. For example, they will introduce a new business. For example, ITC. Previously they are doing only cigarette manufacturing. Now everything they are into. What is the latest ITC's manufacture? They started giving one free gift also. Sugar. ITC, I think with Ashirad Atta, sugar, salt. Okay, salt they introduced now. So slow from cigarette they are moving to consumer goods. Means like daily consumption, FMCG products. Most of you are using classmate notebooks, right? Correct? So we one point of time we want to boycott ITC. But what ICT thought? I will come to your house and I will be with your child. So every school children now they are having classmate notebook and pen, geometry box, Ashirad Atta, shampoo, Swiyama tables, Ippy noodles. And even if Prime Minister comes, he is staying in ITC hotel. Okay, not our Prime Minister, Andavur President, Chinese President is coming. So ITC told, we will be in every part of your life. Previously ITC means only cigarettes. So when new business is getting added every year, then the scope of work may change. Because of that you have to give engagement letter. So this and all you know. Second question. Chartered accountant has been appointed as a statutory auditor by a private limited company for the audit of the financial statements. The company has mentioned in the audit terms that they will not able to provide internal audit reports to that chartered accountant. Further, the company also imposed some limitations on the scope of the chartered accountant. What is the procedure the chartered accountant should ensure whether he can accept or reject? Also advise the chartered accountant, should he accept the proposed engagement? See, you should tell what is all the responsibility of the management. One of the responsibility is to give information explanation. Okay, those things. There should be some unrestricted access for the books of accounts. So there should not be any limitation. See, getting audit report from the internal auditor, that is different issue. But you cannot impose any restriction on my work. So the books of accounts which should be available with you should be given to me. I will be doing audit of that. The auditor believes the limitation will result in disclaiming the opinion, okay, on the financial statements. The auditor shall not accept that such limitations as a audit engagement unless required by law. So if there is any limitations which law itself is imposing, no issue. If the client himself is imposing, then it's a issue. The preconditions for an audit are not present. The auditor shall discuss the matter with the management. Unless required by law, they cannot restrict my proposed engagement, okay. In instant case, the chartered accountant shall not accept the appointment of that company. Next, quality controls. Chartered accountant has been appointed as an auditor of a company. Chartered accountant, one of his partner, completed entire routine audit work. Unfortunately, on the very next morning, while rowing towards office to sign audit report, he met with a road accident and died. Another chartered accountant partner signed the audit report without reviewing the work performed by the other person. Tell me whether they are right. So come on, tell me. See, one chartered accountant of that firm only did the audit, but he died. Another chartered accountant comes and blindly he signs the audit report because he is signing on the firm's name only, no. For on behalf of the firm only he is signing. See, even in our office, audit will be done by one partner, sign will be done by another partner. Okay, it's very happy, but at least he should do review. He may not do entire audit. He should ask some questions. Last year only 100 rupees is there, current year 150 is there, 50 rupees has been increased. So some review procedure should be there. So this question is on that area. Auditor should carefully review, supervise the work delegated to other person. If they are not doing that, then it's going to be a problem. In the given case, the audit procedures before the moment of signing have not been performed by the new partner. However, the report could not be signed by him due to unfortunate health of the previous partner. So when the new auditor is signing, he should allow the signed audit report, though he will be responsible for expressing opinion. He may rely on the work performed by the old auditor. He may exercise adequate skill, care, due diligence, but review the work performed by him. So he has to review the work performed. Avladhaan. Next. Next question. Statutory auditors want to enter into an engagement letter with the company in respect of the services, but the management has contended that since the statutory auditor is mandated by law, engagement letter is not required. Patya? Sir, you are appointed under section 139 and your scope is already given in section 143. Why you are giving a separate engagement letter? No need in time. Okay. The auditor did not agree to that and have shared a formal engagement letter with the management. In this respect, the management would like to understand what SCA 210 says. If the agreed terms of the engagement shall be recorded in the engagement letter or other suitable form. So what should be the content of the engagement letter? Okay, what is your responsibility? What is our responsibility? And what you should do, etc. Question is very big, answer is very small. Next question. a big question is there. Ultimately the question is SQC1, okay, RSS Associates is a proprietorship firm of a chartered accountant which was established 5 years back. The firm was offering only advisory services at the beginning. However, after audit rotation and advent of GST, firm sees a lot of potential in the areas and started looking for audit opportunities. These services being assurance in nature, firm required some internal restructuring and they have implemented some policies. Firm started getting new clients for these new services and is now looking to obtain such information as it considers necessary in circumstances before accepting the engagement with a new client. When deciding whether to continue an existing assignment or not, and when considering the acceptance of the new engagement letter, where issues have been identified and the firm decide to accept or continue the relationship or specific engagement, it has been setting up some process of documents. The firm is now looking to work with only selected clients who are in line with the policies of the firm. Firm understand that the extent of knowledge it will have regarding the integrity of the client will grow within the context on an ongoing relationship with the client. With regard to the integrity of the client, you are required to give some samples, okay, of matters to be considered by the firm. What are the acceptance and continuance of the client? I told you, no. In that matter alone, they are specifying and they are giving a big question. See, in auditing, reading the question itself is a big task because it is out and out practical paper. If whenever say people auditing is theory, please don't accept it. Out and out practical paper. What is theory in it? Okay, they have told the entire problem. I told you, mining clients and all, they will create some problem. See, we have already accepted some clients. Okay, today whether we can continue with the client or not, it's a bigger issue. So, what are the problems with the integrity of a client? This is the question. So, say some example. It is an out and out practical question. Examples. Example may be like this. The identity and business reputation of the client, principal owners, key management, related parties, etc. So, please see who are the owners of the company, who are behind the company. Even though you know management and ownership are different, okay, separate legal entity concept, strictly the company is a extended proprietorship only, correct? Most of the companies what we are doing audit is a extended proprietorship. So, separate legal entity is there only for namesake. Nature of the client's operation. Generally, if leather industries or mining industries, they have lot of cash dealings. Construction industries also. How many of you are doing audit of construction industry? How they are getting approvals? TTCP approvals, township approvals and all. If you give all plannings proper, they will give approvals without even taking 1 rupee. Government officials. So, very, very difficult to operate in that industry, to audit that industry, because cash withdrawals and all very common. So, but they cannot withdraw cash. 40A3 will come. So, how to manage this? They may have some subcontractors, they will give some dummy bills, etc., etc. So, it's very, very difficult when you are doing audit of this kind of construction industries, leather industries. Then small scale people, okay, who always bother about business, don't bother about compliances. They will ask us a question, sir, na business pannuma, compliance pannuma, you decide. Because if you turn left hand side, new form is getting introduced. DPT3 file pannu. If you turn right hand side, KYC file pannu. Okay, so every month some new forms will be introduced by ROC. And the small people, they never bother about it. We only, sir, file pannu, sir, please, sir. They will ask, sir, na sir, monthly, ungalku azha vendi irukke. They will tell, as if they are. See, it's not, we are not doing anything. It's a ROC, MCA is doing some things. Suddenly they will give a form 61 file pannunga, income tax la. The 2 lakh rupees for retailers, they are giving one form, no. So, new forms is getting introduced. information about the attitude of the principal owners. See, what we are studying, whether to accept and continue with the client. So, client oda integrity. So, we should know what is the identity of the client, whether he is a politician or whether he is a proper businessman, whether he know compliances, whether he don't know compliances, whether he is a literate or illiterate. Okay, who is behind this company? Whether the client is aggressively concerned with maintaining the firm's fees as low as possible. Okay, some kanju fellows will be there. Don't do audit of them. Okay, because they will ask you to do audit for 10,000 rupees also. Sir, private limited company audit, I will give you 10,000 rupees including GST. Okay, so don't accept the engagement of those people. Indication of inappropriate limitations of scope. See, sometimes the client may say, sir, please don't ask confirmation letter from that client, that debtor. There is some problem with us. We are now only settling the problems. So, one instance or two instances it is possible. For what? Okay, this kind of restrictions in scope, limiting our scope. But it is not possible all the times, right? So, these and all some areas or examples where you have to see whether to accept and continue with the client. The next question, extent of knowledge of the firm will have regarding the integrity of the client will generally grow within the context of the ongoing relation with the client. So, the 10th point, sorry. Okay, during the audit of PMP Limited listed company, engagement partner completed the reviews and also ensured compliance with the independence requirements that apply to the audit engagement. The engagement files were also reviewed by the engagement quality control reviewer, except the independent assessment documentation. Engagement partner was of the view the matter related to independent assessment or the responsibility of the engagement partner and not engagement quality control reviewer. Engagement quality control reviewer objected to this and refused to sign off the documentation. Please advise SA 220. Very big firms will have this kind of reviewers. Engagement documentation reviewer. That means audit working paper file will be reviewed internally. Engagement partner will be signing the working paper file. Big fours and all, they will have engagement document reviewers. Okay, because in court of law, if their name is getting spoiled, it's a very big problem for them. It is a problem it will be creating internationally. See, as per SA 220, engagement partner shall form a conclusion on compliance with the independence requirements that apply to the audit engagement. Obtain relevant information from the firm wherever applicable. Network firms also. What is network firms? You all know BSR affiliates, BSR & Co, SRBC, SRBC Batley Boy, SRB Batley Boy, correct? See, if you say EY, it is not EY. What is it? SR Batley Boy, SRBC LLP kind of. If you say KPMG, what is that? BSR & Co, BSR LLP, BSR affiliates kind of. So, this is called network firms. See, nowadays, big fours are having check from the MCA. Even listed companies, if you have big four as one auditor, mandatorily you should have one more auditor which is not a big four or a network firm. New thing has been introduced. So there should be a joint auditor. Even if you can see Reliance, previously they have two big fours as their auditor. Now one big four and one medium sized firm, which is not having any relationship with one of the big four. Okay, please understand, EY, KPMG are not audit firms, they are consultancy firms. Audit firms are this SRBC kind of people. Can you able to understand? Take appropriate action to eliminate the threat and reduce the threat into acceptable low levels. Withdraw from the audit engagement where there is a restrictions. As per SA 220, financial statement of the listed entities, engagement quality control reviewer on performing an engagement quality control review shall also consider the engagement team's evaluation of the firm's independence to the audit. In the given case, engagement partner is not right. The independent assessment documentation should also be given to engagement quality control reviewer. So see, audit committee one of the duty is see to the independence of the auditor is the one point. Auditor 177 if you read, one of the point is where the auditor is independent in all respects. There should not be any influence in any of the work. If there is an influence, what will happen? Then auditor will become biased. Some threats will be there. I have indirectly, some relationship with the client. For example, many Section 8 company auditor, club auditor, they are also honorary members in the same club. Then they are not absolutely independent. Can you able to understand? Many auditors, you ask your own firm, sir, whether, for example, when this person, firm, Brahmaya, when they are doing audit of, say, MRC, Madras Race Club, one of the partner may also be given honorary membership in the company. But that may not be the issue in signing the audit report. But there may be an issue in listed company. You should not have any kind of even ordinary course of business, even at arm's length price, you should not have any relationship with the company. Even though section 141 allows you, because 141 says you can take in the ordinary course of business and arm's length price. It is not amounts to business connection and all they are saying. But when you are doing independent assessment documentation, this may have an impact. So the reviewer of independent documentation, etc., he should have access for all the documents. Next question. During audit of company, a listed company, engagement partner completed his review and also ensured this adhe question da, literally like a same question. They are asking this question for the second time. That means this question is something new. The engagement partner is not right. Same answer da. The independent assessment documentation should also include this thing. Independent assessment should be also included to the reviewer. Next, 230, documentation. You are a senior, you are an audit senior working for a firm, Bora & Company. You are required to carry audit of the company, manufacturing of waste paper bins. You are unhappy with the company's inventory valuation policy. I have raised some issue several times with the audit manager. He has dealt with the client for a number of years and does not see what you are making an objection about. He has refused to meet you on site to discuss about these issues. As the audit manager has dealt with this company so for many years, the other partners have decided to leave the audit of company in his hands. Comment on the situation. See, this has a quality issue because there is one problem where no one is understanding the issue and no one is giving their ears to you. They are not even respecting you. What they are saying, so long years this person is doing the audit, he can able to complete the audit well in time and advance properly. So what is the issue here? There is a quality compromise. Next. See, the conflicting views are there. The audit manager and the senior are having conflicting view about the valuation of inventory. This does not appear to have been handled well, with the manager refusing to discuss the matter. So they should discuss the matter. So the engagement partner should introduce himself into this matter and should properly discuss it. Idella fulla practical issue. There should be a policy whenever there is a dispute between audit senior and the audit manager. When there is a dispute between in say understanding a figures or interpreting it. So how the dispute has to be settled na, engagement partner has to intervene and he should give the clarification. In the Mariella, the firm should decide a policy. So in this firm, they don't have any policy. So which is a quality control compromise. See, there is no one right answer for this answer. When everyone writes your answer, everyone will write in a different manner. You will write in one manner, she will write in one manner. But what we should know, we should introduce wordings like SQC1, SA 220, dispute between these people. Okay, settling the dispute should be there. Policy should be introduced. These and all the wordings you should do. Because the answer, you cannot write the same answer what institute expects. But you can give some main headings. You can put some headings and you can restrict yourself. Because it is out and out practical question. No one can write exactly what is there in the book. But your answer should have some contents what the examiner expects. Discuss auditor's responsibility to provide access to working paper file. This question, that whatever question we have seen, this should go to 220. This question should go to 220. Okay, it's in 220. Please change it to 220. That Bora and company is there, no? Bora and company is 220. Now 230. Auditor's responsibility to provide access to his working paper to third parties. Now whether third parties is having the access to the working paper file of the auditor? No, third parties are not allowed to have. Whether the client is having the access? Okay, the discretion of the auditor, he may give something to the client. Practicing chartered accountant has been appointed as an auditor of a private limited company. What factors would influence the amount of working papers? What factors that may affect the amount of working papers? That is the question. The size, complexity of the business, then nature of audit procedures, risk of material misstatements. This you can also write in your notebook. Take notebook. The factors which may affect the amount of working papers to be maintained. Number 1. Size and complexity of the company. Identified risks which may be material. Nature of deviation from the standards. Nature of deviations from the standards. Audit procedures, methodology and tools. Tools means ICQ, internal control questionnaire, checklist, those things are called tools. Then time. If you are having very less time, you cannot have good audit working paper file. Okay. So these are the questions they have asked from 230. So If you see, these standards are very basic standards, which is IPC standards itself. They have not asked much questions from these areas. So the questions may be from the rest of the standards, major areas. 240 they have asked many questions. Okay. Now, terms. Time number? Okay. Now, what you should do immediately? SA 700 to 720. Name and number. You should study the number as well as the name. And we should tell without seeing the book. 700 to 720 immediately. Now, open. Tell what is 700. Forming an opinion and reporting on financial statements. 701. Key matter paragraph. 705. 706. 710. 720. One more time, 720. This will be asked in even this examination. Okay, take 1 minute time. Immediately take the back page of your notebook, write these points, 700 to 720. When you are writing, you should not see the book. Close the book.